beyond that, using something like ChatGPT is going to erode critical thinking. And I've worked with kids a lot, and I've seen a lot of difference in kids pre and post COVID, and they're like coping skills and critical thinking skills
are not present.
Yeah, and I do worry in some ways that like I don't have a traditional like teaching background. That's not my function. I teach swimming, so I see a lot of kids in regards to like first forays with new situations and adults and other kids, and one, attention is way down, and two, like impulse control is way down. It's just passive parenting in a new way, where passive parenting used to be like your 90s latchkey, you know, go home and like there's stuff in the fridge, and then, you know, we'll be home and eat dinner at the TV. And now it is like, here's an iPad, here's the Netflix, like
The standard
I can't hear it anymore, giving into whatever it is that the kid wants. The same as always. Like, why did there are so many pressures in a culture that I also think are against parents and against like raising quality human beings. So if you're perfectly cool with standing on like a pile of people, yeah, you get to the top and make a lot of money.
Which a lot of people are.
Hey, there's a reason that there's a lot of sociopaths that are like high-level CEOs and stuff, because that's literally what it takes.
There should be more community fridges.
I think so too, yeah.
That'd be nice. Because sometimes people do leave shit. And also, sometimes there's a lot of stores that their stuff goes to waste at the end of the day.
Well, food security is a big issue because it's also bundled with like one's pride to be to a point where it's difficult in a month to feed yourself with your bills or whatever it is that you have going on. So to have places that people can go without feeling, you know, downtrodden, like feel supported, like this is the point of it.
Ooh, so yeah. So yeah, we got Connor in the crib. What's going on, my guy?
Good to be back.
Yes, sir. Of course, yo. It's been. How long has it been, actually? I feel like you were on the 90...
I mean, yeah,
something
year
episode?
into some. That was...
Damn, time fucking flies, right? Yo, bro, right?
Late 24, does that sound
I'm
right?
31 years old now, bro. Yesterday was my birthday.
Well, yeah.
Yo, life is like... You're old now.
That's what they say, is the older you get, each day is a smaller slice of your whole life. Like when you're 1 year old, each day is like a bigger slice of everything. But you always think of it as in your own perspective of time.
Right.
You can allow yourself to
95.
95. Okay, what was the date though?
The year I was born, 95. That was a year ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was 1 year ago, my friend. A career in acting. Hold on. December 19th, 2024. That was the date. Sheesh. Many weeks pass.
Yeah.
You're on episode 160. I don't know how long I can keep this going, but I'm gonna try.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fucking try.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, to keep something going that long, yeah, huge and respectable.
Yo, thank you, man.
We were just talking about something kind of interesting, though.
Do you like the color purple? Do you like the color purple? Do you like...
Oh, hey, how you guys doing? Didn't see you there. My name's Merciless. I'm a music producer, DJ, and sound engineer, representing the Boogie Down Bronx. If you need somebody that's going to help you take your career to the next level, I work with a wide variety of sounds, including rap, R&B, even heavy metal. So if you have a sound, you have an idea, or something you want to bring to life, I'm your guy. If you need a DJ, I am that. If you need a producer, I do that. If you need an engineer, I do that as well. And for the artists that want to be artists, you don't want to worry about your producer, all in the videos, all on the records, dancing. Come tap in with Merciless. And remember, the future is purple.
Do you like the color purple? Do you like the color purple? Do you like the color purple?
AI?
Yeah, like for how much of it can you trust?
Well, not even only that. Did you know that it needs fresh water?
Absolutely, yeah.
I didn't know that.
It uses a lot of resources. Is that?
I don't know how, we can go into the weeds of that because I feel like what fresh water, because sometimes they say, for example, New York City's tap water is clean. That shit's not clean, bro. I use a filter system for my dog's water. I use tap water. After like a month or two, it starts becoming brown, bro.
I mean, it relative to what safety guideline,
Yeah.
I think that compared to a lot of places, I drink my tap water straight out of the tap.
No, I feel you, and me too. But I'm just saying, like, and I still do. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like, yo, bro, what is clean water? What is safe water? Do we even get that?
I think going back to how does water and AI, is that connected? When you are running a lot of computing power, like think of, for my gamers out there, like your gaming PCs, one of the most important things is how can I keep that thing cool enough to run all that processing power? And we're talking about AI, or we're talking about all these wire graphics processing units, so hard to get now, is because that's what they are using to do all this generation. And to keep all of those computers cool, you run water over it.
Which is crazy, right? You would think that it would electrocute it or something. But
well, I mean,
nah,
it's through shielding and
Right.
stuff. In the same way, like the way there's not steam flying into your room to heat it. It's coming from the boiler, and it's
Yeah. Nah, I see what you're saying. It's going through metals.
Well, it's diffused through space, or different machinery and stuff. But
Where does this lead to, though, right?
well, the water gets evaporated and doesn't get used. Where else could that be a better use? There's plenty of people in places who don't have access to water.
Yeah.
Can't use it to then grow crops. Like, what are we doing?
And apparently it needs fresh, clean water. It can't even be...
Yeah, I'm
And
sure
we're-
it would hurt machinery in some way to not have clean. I'm not an expert on that anyway,
Yeah.
but beyond that, using something like ChatGPT is going to erode critical thinking. And I've worked with kids a lot, and I've seen a lot of difference in kids pre and post COVID, and they're like coping skills and critical thinking skills.
Are not present?
Yeah, and I do worry in some ways that like I don't have a traditional like teaching background. That's not my function. I teach swimming, so I see a lot of kids in regards to like first forays with new situations and adults and other kids, and one, attention is way down, and two, like impulse control is way down.
Do you work with foreign kids?
What do you mean foreign kids?
Like, not from America?
I mean, I work with all sorts of people. Yeah,
Right.
I don't see
So,
any
no,
necessarily
you
any
don't,
difference.
you don't see a difference? Like, if they're coming from, like, culturally, it's still the same shit?
No, it's
With
just,
attention?
It's I would say some of it is. Yeah, I don't think I would.
I was trying to pick at, like, if it's an American thing, or is it something that you would find more
If there's anything in the culture, I think comes to parenting culture.
In general.
And I think there is, as there ever was, a lot of passive parenting. It's just passive parenting in a new way, where passive parenting used to be like your 90s latchkey, go home and like there's stuff in the fridge, and then, we'll be home and eat dinner, the TV. And now it is like, here's an iPad, here's the Netflix, like
The standard
I can't
drone.
hear it anymore, giving in to whatever it is that the kid wants. The same as always. Like, why did there are so many pressures in a culture that I also think are against parents and against like raising quality human beings. Like, there's so much distraction and there's so much reward for immediate gratification. My mind thought to something like the McDonald's Happy Meals and toys. It's you continue to buy them because at some point, as a parent, the hassle becomes so large to hear I want that you're just gonna buy in just to avoid that one shit fit for that one fucking day.
I think maybe some other people are gonna be like, nah, and you're gonna deal with it.
And I think there should be a little more of that.
I think it's gonna be like always a little bit. It depends on the haves and have-nots, right? Because there's some people that have it, some people that are not gonna have it, not gonna be able to do it.
I don't know. I've worked with people all over the board. There are people who have it all and still have like stronger parenting instincts, or will guide
see what you're saying.
people away from that. I think that the more resources you have, the better off you are to raise a child. Like,
No matter what.
yeah. And there is like a point where it just goes beyond normal means. I don't know. So in that case, like there is some of that have and have nots, like access to places that you could send your child that will instill critical thinking skills, like going back to stuff like AI, like quality schools or education. And I don't know, I think it's really sad in a lot of ways that we devalue education and we don't give teachers big enough salary, big enough resources. Like they're left out in the dirt. Like I came from a school district who gave me and the people who I went to school with, like in my cohort, a ton of opportunities. And then just because of the way local legislation went and like privatization of schools and vouchers for private schools made it so unattractive to, one, it will cut money from public schools, and then like made it more attractive for parents that had the money to send them to these other places, which aren't better education in what way, but really it ends up undercutting the community.
And then other people get affected.
Hugely.
Yeah. And the city streets and getting around, public safety probably, right?
I mean, I think it is the same. It is a symptom of the same thing. Like, in the same ways that people will find an excuse to no longer value public education, they'll find ways to no longer value public transit just because they, would rather be in their little bubble and not have to associate with the riffraff or whatever it is.
Is it hard to value that when you live in a society that's so divided?
Is it hard to value those things? No, I mean, I don't think it is. I think that there is a manner or a measure of compassion that has to be had, like being able to see things from other points of view. And the more, like, if you want to talk about the dividing or the divisive politics, that makes it harder to do. Just, I mean, inherently dividing is like trying to push us farther from finding common ground.
Exactly.
When I do think everyone has much more in common than we have apart. If you want to say that with like haves and have-nots, if you just look at what the numbers are, like a majority, a majority is more than half. Like what is 99% versus a 1%?
I mean, people still aren't happy regardless, right? If you have or have not, there's still like a 50% divorce rate in this.
Well, yeah, they say there's a tipping point in amount of money that makes you an amount of happy, and it has to do with the society you live in and how much it costs to have a house or to be able to like have a family. Going back to kids, like being able to have kids is a privilege in a lot of ways. Like, you have to make enough money to really do that, I think, in a good and meaningful way. And there are people who don't have access to not do that in like a family planning way, and that also is like, that's a big societal.
Do you think that we feel that way even more? Because I agree with you, but do you feel like we feel that way more in New York, but then there's people in other states that don't feel that way because they have easier ways of living?
I wouldn't know if I'd call it easier ways of living. It's different.
Well, in terms of, yeah, you're right. But like, if you have a job and everything, you can have a big house and more space.
I think a lot of
education.
I think a lot of it in New York is magnified just because of the density, and like you see the stratification of extreme poverty and extreme wealth, like you can stand literally in one spot and and see across an island and see right in front of you someone who may be their last day and has nobody, and then in that same eyeball, like, see this tower of wealth and excess where there may be nobody living there, but like you know, it stands as this
symbol.
I don't know. I don't like that kind of architecture anyway. But yeah.
I see, but it's still a symbol, right?
Yeah, it's just like a big middle finger in the sky. I don't want to live anywhere that I can't jump out the window and like jump onto a tree. You know, like I don't. I stay in a hotel that's like way up high. Like, what do they call it? It's clinical anxiety. But you know, I would rather be able to like have a good safe exit.
Like you wouldn't want a penthouse by Central Park.
Swaying in the breeze? No, thank you. No, thank you.
Or be just a target for any like crazy attack, right?
No, that doesn't really bother me.
No,
not the statistics of it. No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, even in today's times with the Iran war and everything that's going on right now, you don't think New York is gonna get hit?
Statistically, no, that doesn't bother me. Like, it could happen. Is it something that will keep me awake at night? No,
of course not.
Absolutely not. Yeah, I think it's yes, no.
Yes, no, yes, no. But you don't feel like, all right, in today's times, especially right now, that New York has a chance of getting hit?
I'm more likely to get bit by a guy who is upset at me for like spilling coffee on him than I am.
No, not you per se, but just like in New York in general, like switching the gears a little bit.
I mean, I don't know. Let's go on Closhy and see what the over under is. No, I'm not worried. Walking around. Do I think it's possible that it could happen? Of course. Like, anywhere. I also like, I grew up in a place where every year at my high school there was a bomb threat.
Really?
Yeah.
Wait, why?
That just was one. Whether it was like, some of them were even.
Was
fakes.
there one?
Legitimate?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think there was one that was ever like someone meant to do harm, but there was always one. And that's still scary enough. Like evacuations, lockdowns, like. I come from the age of Columbine, like the Aurora shootings in movie theaters. Dude, shit happens everywhere. Like, you do need to keep your eyes on you.
Yeah.
BS happens on the subway. BS happens anywhere. I've seen violence in New York City. I've seen violence in Phoenix. I've seen violence in Houston. I've seen violence all over the world where I've been.
Same violence?
I don't know. To different extremes, but usually it is like a lot of bravado, and in most of those situations, a lot of times you can see it coming and choose not to be there. Sometimes you should be there, admitting is it your duty to act on those things, but you certainly don't look for them.
Right.
And I don't walk around. Me personally, I don't walk around in fear, and that's also like a piece of my privilege as a white dude in his 30s, like reasonably well-bodied, and then there's also a responsibility in that, like looking out for people in my community. I had a situation where I was on the subway and there was a guy who was clearly drunk. I know this because he had like a mostly empty bottle of liquor and was harassing people, and stood up for him. And what did I get for it? I got spat in my face.
Yeah,
and I thought about, following him out of the subway, which is really what we wanted, was him gone.
Right.
And he was gone. But like, it sucked.
Yeah, to have to take that.
But it was also not the right thing or a good scene to have him asserting himself or like making these people feel uncomfortable.
There's certain moments that I feel like it's called for that you gotta say something. But again, you never know what the outcome is going to be.
But in that minute when I was standing up for him, nobody else had my back in that whole train car. And like there were some tourists and some other folks, but like
no, yeah, no one wants
if for some reason there had to be like fisticuffs or whatever, I don't think that there would have been anybody there. On
No
my
one
side.
would have helped.
Nor would is it the
there a thing-
one time you want to hear there's NYPD on the platform. Like, nope, not that day.
Yeah, of course they would have. Right? Yeah, that's
And
so true. They're never there.
It was like the middle of it, like a Tuesday
Right.
evening. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
That is very true. But they're always ready to give you a ticket.
Okay, hot take. NYPD, you want to make money. There are some neighborhoods where people are just rolling through stop signs, and from what I understand, that's like a $500 ticket. And when I'm talking about stopping, I mean the line in front of the stop sign, or like the line in front of where the crosswalk is. Just with my eyeballs, I could make like $10,000 a day just walking to where I go to work from the people that roll through those fucking stop signs. And there's places where there's so many like kids and cute little dogs and shit
Right.
and old ladies who you don't want to see getting hit by cars.
Yeah.
And there's bullshit parking and no enforcement. And these are the people who have an awful lot of money.
Right.
Who they're paying this parking ticket is nothing. And they're
Yeah.
the people who are worried about people buying a fucking cookie with food stamps. Get
Yep.
the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
The fuck out of here with that.
That is the truth, though, right? But then they're willing to pay it, but they're not gonna give those tickets for those.
No, but we don't have cops there. We have cops at Broadway Junction making sure people aren't skipping out on a fucking $2.90 metro fare.
Yeah,
It doesn't make any sense. I'll give you $500 a pop. I'll give you 10 grand in an hour.
And that would actually help the city probably because you'll see those people that could afford it.
Drives me nuts.
Do you feel like that has been a change in the city with Zohran Mamdani?
I don't know if I can, in that regard of like ticket enforcement.
No, just like in a change in the city, but not because of ticket enforcement.
No, I mean, I still think it feels like, it feels better than Eric Adams, New York, like unequivocally. Like I feel safer in a non-Eric Adams, New York. But as far as like, is anything feel necessarily different? There are people who I know are being impacted in a positive way of having access to like,
For their kids?
well, yeah, so starting like with like 3K and things like that, like childcare is huge, absolutely. Things like services to make sure people have food to eat. I know we had 2 major snowstorms, and the first one was like pretty ass as far as the cleanup was regarded, but the second one, boy, whipped that into shape, and that was like a way different story.
Yeah.
So if anything, that shows me hopefully, regards to learn. I voted for Zohran. Like I feel that if there's anything, there's only hope moving forward. There's gonna be haters.
It's gonna be haters.
I also like
There's always haters.
and he holds my scrutiny, and I want him to stand up for what he says he
Believes in?
sets out to do, and I believe it will be done. So far, like I'm pretty pleased and proud and hopeful. Yeah,
So it's good. It's a possible change for the future. I feel like.
it's got a long way to go. I mean, and we are New York City, which is like a beacon of possibility, but we're in a very goofy world, man. We're in a very goofy world, and it's a big country and it's a big world. So.
Well, what makes it goofy?
Makes it goofy. Going back, I think for me personally, the lack of critical thinking. When we talk about haves and have-nots, where problems come from, divisive politics. I'm not talking about anything new at this point. If you look back at other movements for things like civil rights and Martin Luther King, and not only fight for racial equality, but the movement towards the Poor People's Campaign, I think also brought about a lot of fear for brought a lot of fear to the powers and the structures, and in some way, like the families and dynasties that today hold a lot of power. Things like equity in labor, things like having insurance, things like paid family leave, things like women's rights to vote and have, dude, they weren't able to have credit cards and shit until like the 70s, and we're anyway.
Well, do
I'm getting off
No,
topic, but
that's another topic. But go ahead.
I think that the goofiness I am speaking to is the illusion that there is enough for everybody to like ascend to some crazy ideal of comfort, while there really are other people who have an immense amount of resources and capital and have no interest in
Sharing that.
in doing anything positive for the world
Yeah.
with it. If you were to start counting right now, 1, 2, 3, right? You counted to 1 million. How long do you think that would take?
1 million seconds. Is that wrong?
Yeah, no, that's probably right. But so think about how long that would take. How long 1 million seconds? You can do the math. I'm not going to do it. Shout out to you math heads. It ain't me.
It ain't me. Probably take like
Long ass time.
yeah, longest time.
1,000 times that. That's 1 billion.
It's a lot.
That's a fucking lot of anything. That's a lot of seconds.
Right.
That's way too many. That's way too many dollars.
And when it comes to billions, it gets.
And again, something like taxes.
They don't get
Those
taxed
sorts of
like
structures. And
that. In comparison, right?
And there are
To
ways
a middle
around
class.
it, like, creating shell corporations and LLCs and putting stuff into trust and taking losses on stuff and, like, make it look like you're doing this great philanthropy. But really what I need is a fucking tax loss this year. So,
Do you feel like if the rich were taxed their fair share, would they want to be rich?
it's the same way that there's the welfare gap of, like, you can be making enough to get like government subsidized stuff, but like once you make enough, you don't qualify for that anymore. Like really what you need to be comfortable is way more than that. So like really to bridge the gap between qualifying and like being comfortable is so big. It's so hard to move between that. I think that people who, there's a difference between like rich and wealthy. If you have to go to work, I ain't talking about you. I'm talking about people who don't have to go to work and the money just keeps getting fucking printed. That's who I'm talking about. That's who I'm talking about. I'm not talking like you have a business and you go to work and you got to keep the wheels on. I'm not. But if you could stay at home and your shit just like, yeah, nah, I'm talking about you. There needs to be a different structure of like reintegration because you don't make that much money without standing on the backs of somebody. Whether that's usually it's their time, but if it's your time, that's the time you're not with your family, that's your blood. It's your blood money. So if you're perfectly cool with standing on like a pile of people, yeah, you get to the top and make a lot of money.
Which a lot of people are.
Hey, there's a reason that there's a lot of sociopaths that are like high level CEOs and stuff, because that's literally what it takes. I mean, American Psycho, that movie is a farce and a satire, but it gets to the point of like, to get to the top of business, you have to be willing to like fucking kill somebody.
The thing is that, right, these are the people that are the ones up top. And it, for me, it kind of makes me feel like, is this hell? Right? But it's not. Because there's always different sides to the story, right? We don't get to see these people for who they really are and how they really feel. And it is interesting that a lot of times these people are the ones that end up killing themselves because they can't take it. They'll jump off their penthouse or
Yeah, I've met some very wonderful people who are great and wonderful and wealthy, and I've met also some of the absolute most miserable people who went out of their way to make me feel bad on purpose.
Really?
Yeah, and I can't really get into details on that other than like I have seen both. And what do we do with that? There's also the people who are really great and lovely. Yeah, I met some of the most wonderful and most miserable people of some of the highest economic status in New York. And I don't have an answer other than there's one thing I don't like. It's like somebody who has a lot of money who looks you right in the eye and asks if you go skiing. What fucking money do I go skiing? I think people mean well, but they also just don't get it.
Yeah, they don't.
You know,
They're oblivious.
Or they might think that the people that work for them, maybe not for them, but like work in the building that they live in, are earning a better living or have better benefits than they actually have. And I think that, you know, they mean well and all this stuff, but people are making the ends meet.
Yeah.
And we wonder why, like, the quality of the work goes down at some point. Because everyone is just, like, pretty beaten down at this point.
It's like, how do you expect people to actually provide a good service? And
to have enough careers for people who are passionate about the things that they want to do. Yeah, it's really weird. I've watched a lot of the most intelligent people I know who were told, like, go get degrees in computers and this, and, like, the world opens for you. And now they're all getting either laid off or...
The job taken by AI?
Yes, and that will maybe reverse, but the other is that they're just getting recruited by, like, the axis of evil. Like,
what do you mean that will maybe reverse?
Because at some point, I think that we're going to rely too much on thinking like AI can do all these things, and then we're going to find out it can't do all of these things, and then we're going to need like some of it back. But the damage will have already been done. People will have already changed careers, and there will be like a redistribution. But with those people, they will either switch over to work for the people who are hiring, which are like weapons manufacturing and like people who want to build better bombs and technical surveillance, and like how do we sell ads to children so that they're like love this shit like cigarettes, but it's legal, so we make a lot of money. Like that's where the brain power is going to, because that's what makes the money. Going back to like the happiness quotient, I think for a lot of things to get better, everybody needs to want less. And I don't know how to make that happen.
Yeah, it's impossible.
I want to...
Well, is it, right? Or is it? Because I feel like what they make us want fluctuates.
Who's that?
The powers that be.
Who are the powers that be?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Shit, if I knew, that'd be like, I think I wouldn't even be here.
I mean, I think it starts here. It starts with you. Sorry, I mean, blue type of mic.
All right, does it though? Because think about it, right? We're living in a time where people aren't really having kids like that. There's some people having kids, but it's not really like that. You know, not like how it was back in the day. People used to have like 5 kids and shit, you know, and it's normal. People are having less and less kids. And what was it then that made people want to have kids and want to have these things, and now not at all?
I mean, part of it is too damn. The rent is too damn high.
Yeah.
Like in what home will I raise them? With what money will I clothe them?
Right.
How am I going to pay for karate class when I am trying to decide? Am I eating meat this week?
Yeah. Does
that fit in my budget? This is the dumb fucking real. And
But that's what I'm saying. Like, there's definitely been periods like this before, right? We had a Great Depression. We've had different periods where people weren't making enough to make ends meet, but yet people were still having kids.
Yes.
And like there's something in society that has definitely changed, and it has nothing to do with money.
I think part of it, there are a few things there. Like, why, like, having more children is different now than it was at the turn of the century for technological and medical reasons, for financial and social reasons. And personally, I dream of, I don't know if I would really survive in such a world, but like a pre-industrial revolution. Some part of me, like, if I would have medically survived, which I'm not sure I would have medically survived my childhood, would have rather lived sometime like with the axe chopping and the firewood burning and the town to town riding on a horse and a cart kind of shit. Would life have been shorter? Mayhaps. Would it have been more meaningful at some point? I think so. So my desire for more people to want less is like to not buy into wanting more iPhone and Fortnite. It is for wanting more connection with community and like barbecues and public houses and third spaces and parks and community centers and adult pickup kickball league, those sorts of things. Silver sneakers programming for lonely elderly people. Like there's such a
but you're right.
for things like that.
But people lack community, but it's because of all these things.
And
right?
if only there was like, I don't know, a bunch of fucking money we could pour into that. Where would we find it?
Do you think money? But that's why I feel like. Do you think money being poured into it would help?
Yes.
You're like yes.
Yes. If there was more, again, things like, and I don't know where the money comes from exactly, but I can give you a few fucking good ideas, and they all start with B for billionaires, and like T for taxes on those B for billionaires. And it's more like funded community centers, like more stuff for kids to do and how to be people together, like how to communicate, how to share things, how to like occupy the same time and space together. Like there's a lot of wild main character syndrome and like outside of oneself, and some of that might be there are more single children because it is more expensive to have, but I think some of that also is the attention, and you only are paying attention to like what's right in front of you, what I want to see, and there's a lot of individual control of that, more so now than there's ever been. I'm really happy I grew up when I did, because I don't think I would have done as well as a young person now. I think that I would have had much more difficulty with social media, with cyberbullying, with like those sorts of things, with self-image stuff, just to like not have that space away.
Yeah, right. Because everything that the kids do now is on social media. Lately.
Bring it back to AI again,
and it doesn't leave.
You know, will children know the difference between AI videos at some point, and whether they do or not, will they care? And then at that point, like, well, what is the news? And then what is history? And if we just become so much more separated from those things, it I don't know, diffuses in some pretty bad chaos in, I don't know, one realm of anxious mind. And there's hope. I don't know, maybe we figure this whole thing out and we all realize what we need to do. I don't have answers. I got an awful lot of questions. Yeah.
Yo, you know I got a part in the podcast where I ask the individual, can you give me a question that I bring out in society, and I go ask that question?
Yeah. If there was one thing that you could bring to your neighborhood, and even better, like your block or your street, like one thing that can make that better, what would it be?
Okay, that's really good.
All right. So if you could change one thing in your neighborhood, something positive, if you could bring one thing into your block, into your street, what would it be?
Well, I mean, sort of a general thing with New York City, but first and foremost, the homelessness problem. I mean, I hate to see, Astoria is a pretty wealthy neighborhood. I hate to see people that are unfortunately in dire straits in this area economically. So first and foremost, that'd be the main thing, is just to make sure everyone has a home and a place to go to.
On every street, at least a spot, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
Some good food to eat.
100%. Yeah.
That's good, man.
Appreciate
Thank you
you,
so much.
brother.
I like that question. What would you do?
I've been trying to get to know my neighbors. I've lived in the same place for a long time. Like, people's names, chatting with them. I don't know. I've seen things like free libraries. You like leave a book, that kind of thing. Those things are really sweet to see.
There should be more community fridges.
I think so too. Yeah.
That'd be nice. Because sometimes people do leave shit. And also, sometimes there's a lot of stores that their stuff goes to waste at the end of the day.
Well, I think food security is a big issue because it's also bundled with like one's pride to be to a point where it's difficult in a month to feed yourself with your bills or whatever it is that you have going on. So to have places that people can go without feeling, downtrodden, like feel supported, like this is the point of it. Yeah, I know people who have benefited in times of need, and it can be a godsend.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
mutual aid, that's not a new idea either. And that can look like so many different things. I mean, that can be, you have a little extra money in your Venmo and someone's like having that hard month or whatever, you kick it out to them. Strangers, someone on social media or whatever, you've done that from time to time, from someone's project. Helping someone who needs help on the street, whatever that is, and feels right to you, because that can be different things for different people.
Right.
You got to feel that out for yourself. Yeah, it is difficult. It's uncomfortable to connect. It's easy to be within yourself. Going back again to different places and transportation, that's kind of what I like about New York, is you have no choice but to like rub elbows with your neighbors sometimes, for better or for worse.
It's true.
Usually for better.
Yeah, you can't help it. Do you feel like in New York, it's also just completely different than anywhere else?
Yeah, it feels like a lot of its own thing. I honestly am not the biggest traveler, like world traveler or city traveler. I've been a lot of places, but not nearly as many as most people I know. So there could be some place that's just like this that I haven't been, but there's a reason people come from all over the world here to see stuff here, is because there's something to be seen, something to be felt. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. Yeah, I believe it, but there's a little bit of luck along the way and like figuring out your own thing.
I think luck can only get you so far, though, too.
Oh, I mean, yeah, there's an amount of suffering or exchange. Give a little, get a little.
Yeah. I remember meeting so many different people in the city, and you see hustlers. I feel like the hustlers make it out, but not all the time. But they make it through. Whatever that is to you.
I've seen people who said they were going to be in New York forever, had one opportunity, and now they're like, somewhere else living their best life. So this may not be everyone's final destination or like a long stop, but there's something about the swirl of everything together that like the probability lights up. Like the opportunity for lightning in a bottle increases.
I like that. That's true. It is. But what can you do, man? We just gotta keep on living this life. I feel like if you go anywhere else, you're just gonna be bored, pretty much. I mean, but you could find happiness. It depends on who you're with. I feel like at the end of the day too. But for me, it's New York or nowhere.
I think everyone, no matter where you are, you have the things that make you feel grounded, and those can be different at different times. Like I know for me, physical culture, working out, yoga, Helps me stay grounded. Like I know no matter where I would be living, I would be doing that. Community, like I have a lot of really good friends, and I'm really lucky to have so many of them like in my neighborhood. I happen to have like a living situation that works really well in my favor, and I'm able to like, not save money, but like in a better position than I could be. And so you take your blessings where you get them anywhere. And if this lily pad's not working out, jump to a new lily pad or drown,
Right. Yeah. You figure it out as you go, man. Right?
Yeah. That's it.
And what do you find yourself leaving New York, or do you want to stay here in New York?
I have no intention to leave at this point. It could happen. I don't know. I signed my lease, so I'm here for at least that long.
Wait, isn't it? How long is your lease?
2, but then I'll probably do another 2.
Yeah, I get 2 too. Yeah. It's fucked up. They sometimes like in the first year they don't give you that 2. They want to see how if you really gonna stay by this shit. You want to stay here? All right,
I've been 2 and 2 and 2 and 2.
Yeah, you always had 2 from the beginning.
Once I got the spot, everyone.
Lucky bastard. Yeah. They didn't give you 2 the first time.
I'll never leave my spot.
They increase it though, right?
Of course.
That's the bullshit, bro.
Of course. Any chance they get that board.
I know it's getting late, bro, and I know we wasn't planning to do this for too long. We gotta wake up early in the morning. Yes. We're adults.
Back to the grind.
Adults. But is there anything that you can leave for the people watching in terms of like to help them keep going in their own life?
Yeah. Very few things you can control in this life. One thing you can control is your breath. So take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath out.
I thought you were gonna say take a mint.
Take a big old bong. No. Take another deep breath in. Another deep breath out. A few things you can control. That's one of them.
Word. And do you have any questions for me?
Oh man, how do you keep doing it?
With this?
Yeah.
Life, my energy.
It's a lot of work, man. I've done a lot of production and stuff. It's a lot of work.
It's like my fighting spirit. It's my fighting spirit. Part of me is like, yo, I knew it was gonna be hard. Like how we started, like before the episode. You're like, well, you know the percentage, bro. You're like, I know the percentage. I know how hard it is. So like I know that it was gonna be hard. So every moment that it is very difficult, I just remind myself like, oh, this is what you signed up for. You know what I'm saying?
I knew was gonna happen.
Yeah. So then it kind of reassures me that I'm doing the right thing also, because it's like, oh, okay, it was meant to be hard.
That's the other thing too, is if you don't know if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, get yourself to a place where you can be real quiet and honest with yourself and close your eyes and ask yourself if you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. Yeah. And if the answer is yes, you're probably right.
Right. That's a fact. Or you could be terribly wrong.
Yeah, try not to do that.
That's funny as hell, bro. And before we go, one last thing. What's something that you would tell your younger self?
Oh man, you are way like stronger and more powerful than you could ever imagine, and just like let that stuff go, and you're gonna be the same goofy you, just in like a different suit. So keep doing that, because it'll work for you eventually.
Fuck with it. So yeah. Boom. So yeah.
I can't trust no switching roadie. I be on my grown thing. Keep on moving, time be skipping, phone and going home. Same process, trust the progress. I be knowing where it's home, man. Free me, feel me, see me, I see. So yeah.